allow me to introduce myself. My name is me, Dr. Franklin Hall. You're also known as Graviton, and I am a supervillain. And as a supervillain, you get this reputation that all supervillains are these soulless, evil tyrants that are only bent on destruction. That's all we think about. And that's not true. We also think of other things too. We like to think about movies and going to movies and talking about movies, which is what this here show is dedicated to. This show is dedicated to villains like myself talking about movies. And when I pitched this to the government, like, hey, find a company to broadcast this show because I'm Graviton and I can control gravity and I can threaten you guys until you do so. They told me, but Graviton, there's no network that would pick up a show like this. No one wants to hear what villains think about movies. And I told them, okay, how about this, guys? I'll take anywhere you got, any broadcasting station, literally anywhere you get to put my show on, and I will happily agree to it. So, after pulling a few strings, they found this YouTube account, this YouTube channel of some man-child, and so now my show will be broadcasted on there. So, I'm going to, I feel like humbly accepting this invitation, and, I feel welcome here at home at this man-child's YouTube channel, and I hope to give him a few more subscribers than he already has, which is 6. So, now that I'm done explaining the premise of this here talk show, which is my talk show, which I called Gravitalk, because, my name is Graviton and we talk on this show. I decided that to have a special guest on each episode. So I told the UPM, excuse me, Mr. UPM, I want a big name to be on our first episode. A big name to be our special guest. I want the Mandarin. And he told me, but Mr. Franklin Hall, Dr. Franklin Hall, there's so many Mandarins. There's the old Asian guy Mandarin who's a descendant of Genghis Khan, has the magic powers. There's the teenage angsty Mandarin who's also Asian, but he's half alien or something. There's the Caucasian businessman Mandarin who can breathe fire for some reason. He's also a Mandarin. And I told him, you know what, Mr. UPM? You can choose any Mandarin you want as long as it's not that British junkie Mandarin. I don't want that Mandarin. And so, after a severe lack of communication and understanding between me and the UPM, the junkie British Mandarin is the one that we have right now. So, without further ado, here's Trevor Slattery. Trevor Slattery, everybody.
You'll never see this review coming.
Trevor?
Some people call me a critic. I like to consider myself a teacher. Lesson number 1.
Trevor.
You'll never see me coming.
Trevor.
What?
You can drop the act, Trevor. We already saw your Iron Man 3 movie. We already know the secret is out. We already know that you're not really like that. You're not some Osama bin Laden figure. You're just some Russell Brand wannabe.
Oh, Okay. Oh, thank God. I thought I'd have to. I thought I'd have to do that voice the whole review. You know how tiring it is to do a voice for a whole review.
Yeah, I can imagine it can be very tiring and frustrating and not worth it at the end when you are done recording it and you realize, oh wait a minute, none of this was worth it.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. So so it's an honor to be here. I'm really glad. Um, uh, so when are you going to give it to me?
What?
When are you going to give me the blood?
Sir, that's not what this is about.
Oh, dear, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed about this. I'm so sorry. What are we going to do?
We are going to review a movie.
Oh, that's what. Okay. Oh, what movie?
Well, here on Gravitalk, our first movie is going to be the latest blockbuster to hit the theaters, coming all the way from New Zealand, from the writer J.R.R. Tolkien.
Talcum powder.
Yes, J.R.R. Tolkien powder comes The Hobbit, a Desolation of Smaug.
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 Smaug. Now, did you see that movie? Now, did you see this movie?
Let me see. Yeah. I think I did. I think I did see the movie. Um, it was I was spending the night with this prostitute, and the prostitute was like, "Oh, Trevor, oh, let's go watch a movie," and and I was like, "Well, Mrs. Prostitute, you've been a really cheap prostitute, so you know what? I'm gonna treat you to this movie." So we saw the movie.
And what was your initial thoughts about it?
Well, I thought the movie was very confusing.
Really? How so?
Like there was not much exposition. Like everything seemed weird and random. There was these tall people called elves and these short fat people called dwarves and these regular people called humans and these midgets, these big footed midgets called hobbits. It was really confusing. I was very lost.
Are you familiar with the other movies?
What other movies are you talking about?
There's one more. This is a part of a trilogy.
What what? There was a whole trilogy of this.
Yes, this is just chapter 2 of the Hobbit trilogy. First, there's an unexpected journey, and then there's Desolation of Smaug. That's the one we're reviewing today. And then next year, there's going to be the final one, There and Back Again.
Oh my God. Oh dear. Oh, that I had no idea. Wow. This is news to me. I had no idea that this was a whole franchise.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's a prequel franchise.
What?
Yes, there's also the Lord of the Rings trilogy that takes place after these ones.
Oh my God, but you just blew my mind. Oh dear. Oh, I probably shouldn't be reviewing this movie then, since I didn't do enough research.
No, it's too late. We already booked you and we're already filming this. So we're going to have to use this film anyway. So this recording anyway. So we're going to have to continue on this. So I'm going to give my initial thoughts on it.
All right, go ahead and give your thoughts.
Yeah, right. Well, I felt like it was there was a lot of pandering involved in this movie. Pandering because you see the first came the Lord of the Rings movies, then these movies. And when the Lord of the Rings movies hit, they thought, oh, this made a whole lot of money. So let's make The Hobbit to make more money. But wait a minute, the Hobbit book is really different than the Lord of the Rings books.
Well, how so?
Well, you see, The Hobbit is just one book, whereas the Lord of the Rings is three books. And they thought, you know what, let's make The Hobbit like the Lord of the Rings and make it not only three movies, but let's add in most of the characters from the first one into this one to make it familiar with the mainstream audience, and also let's make it 3 hours long like the other ones.
Yeah, that's what I noticed about this one was there was a lot of padding involved.
Yeah, it's like this is a very simple story, and what they did was they cut it into three little bits, and then they added a bunch of bullshit into each bit.
Oh yeah, yeah. I sensed a lot of bullshit in this movie.
Yeah, but not all of it's bullshit. Some of it is just shit that was taken out of the other books that they had to cut out of the Lord of the Ring movies. Like, the hippie Bear Grylls wizard.
Oh yeah, I like the hippo Bear Grylls wizard. I can sympathize with him.
Because he had a bunch of drugs.
Not just because of the drugs, but also because he has faces on his face all the time. I can really sympathize with that.
Okay, you moving back to the movie. Okay, now that we've given our initial thoughts, let's break apart this movie bit by bit, shall we?
Like you do to a frog. Like you do to a frog when it's at science class, you take it apart.
Yeah, something like that. Alright, let's start at the very beginning, shall we?
All right then, all right. So you want me to begin this uh you want me to begin this recap of the movie?
Well, of course, you're a guest.
All right then. So the movie begins with Spider-Man uh falling into New York City, and I thought this was a really weird way to begin a movie like this. But anyway,
Trevor,
what is it?
yeah, that's not. That was a trailer for the next Spider-Man movie.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense now. Now that I think of it. Okay, so anyway, the movie began with Mila Kunis um hovering, and she got no pants on because she's wearing a hospital gown, and
Trevor. What? That's also a movie trailer. That was the trailer for Jupiter Ascending, I believe.
oh, okay. I'll watch that movie now. Or Mila Kunis and everything. Okay, so anyway, um, oh dear. When does the movie begin? Does it begin at the point where there was this WB logo that was hovering and breaking apart?
Yes, that's it. That's where the movie began. So just review everything that happens after that.
Okay, seems fair enough. So we see this bar. This bar looks like it was in Tatooine. Bunch of scallywags and British people, like me.
Yes, like you.
And we see this dwarf.
Yes, I like to call him the Russell Crowe dwarf.
Well, I don't think that character was voiced by Russell Crowe.
No, but I'm just saying that that's who it looks like. I like to give characters nicknames.
Oh, all right then, fair enough. So, Russell Crowe dwarf. is Resso Krodorf is confronted by this wizard, Gandalf. Gandalf, and he meets Gandalf, and what was it that Gandalf was talking about?
He was Gandalf was talking about how the dwarf should get his kingdom back because his kingdom was taken over by a dragon long time ago.
Yeah. What kept that? What kept the dwarves from giving that dragon a cease and desist, or a cease and desist letter instead of war?
Yeah, I don't think the dragon was going to take any of that, because he's a dragon, and I don't think any legal actions are going to affect the decisions of a dragon.
I see. So the dwarf is like, okay, Mister Wizard, let's do it. Let's get the kingdom back. Let's get a band together of a bunch of dwarfs, and then they cut to the dwarves and the wizard together already, and they also got a hobbit with them, and they're being chased by a bunch of orcs. I thought it was really confusing because they skipped a lot of story stuff that I was kind of interested in saying.
That was in the previous movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was in an unexpected journey.
Oh, okay. Well, I really should have done my homework before doing this review with you.
It's too late for that, my friend. It's too late for that. Okay, so keep going.
All right. So they find refuge in the manger where Jesus was born, but Jesus isn't there at the moment.
Yeah, I think he was taking. I think he's already dead at this point.
Yeah, this probably takes long time after Jesus was born and then executed by a bunch of was it Jews?
No, it was not Jews. It was Philippines.
Oh yeah, the Philippines.
Philistines. Oh dear, now we pissed off the Jews and the Philippines.
That all right. I pissed off a lot of Marvel fans, so there's really no difference in who I piss off.
So, oh, and I forgot we also pissed off Christians.
Those always escape me.
So, then they find out that the owner of this manger is this werebear.
Werebear?
Yeah, he's like a werewolf, but instead of turning into a wolf man, he turns into a bear man.
I think he ate that cake from Brave.
So you're aware of the movie Brave, the Pixar movie Brave, but you're not aware of Lord of the Rings or anything affiliated with Lord of the Rings.
Nope.
But you're an actor. You'd think as an actor you would be aware of all this movie stuff.
You'll be surprised what kind of acting gigs I get besides being the Mandarin. Lot of condom commercials and stuff like that.
Okay then, getting back to the movie, the werebear sets them on the right path. He gives them a bunch of ponies, and he takes them to this forest.
Oh, right. The ponies. You know, I got a problem with those ponies.
What?
They weren't sexy enough.
I see you've been watching too much of the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, haven't you?
Yeah, I demand sexy ponies. Sexy ponies. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean. I'm not a clapper. So, we never see the werebear again.
You never know. Maybe in the next movie.
Yeah, I don't know. So, Gandalf decides to split apart from the dwarves in the Hobbit so he can go off having his own subplot, and also so the movie doesn't have to deal with a whole bunch of characters at one time. So he splits off from them, and he lets the dwarves and the hobbit go by themselves into this enchanted forest.
Yeah, and this forest seems to be riddled with it seems to be riddled with LSD.
Yes, LSD. And they go on this trip.
Yeah, a bad trip. You see, when you take LSD, there's a 50-50 chance that it'll be a bad trip. You got to make sure that it's a good trip, because if it's a bad trip, everything's going to be really bad, especially after the especially after the the trip is over, because that's what that's when you realize what you did. That's when you'll realize what you did. That's when you realize what you. That is what you realize what you did after the trip. Real bad.
So once they were done with their trip, they get attacked by a bunch of giant CGI spiders. You know, this movie is based on a book that British people were supposed to read to their kids for story time. You know, bedtime, right before going to sleep. I'm not sure if the whole giant CGI realistic looking spiders trying to eat people is meant for a bedtime story.
Well, autistic license and everything.
Yeah, artistic license. So then so as the spiders are about to eat the dwarves and the hobbit, although the hobbit is just fighting back, the elves come in and they defeat the spiders. And by the way, these elves are the most racist piece of shit elves I've ever seen. They're so intolerant of these dwarves. I mean, the dwarves are just minding their own business. They're like all laid back and they're just being dwarves. And then these elves come and these elves are all like, oh, we hate you because you're dwarves. That is just plain racism.
Yeah, and they treat the dwarves like PCA workers. At an airport, they take away all their stuff and some of their clothes, and they don't make them naked, but still, it's an invasion of their privacy.
Yeah, they're not like the elves in the previous movie that dealt with these dwarves. Those elves were cool. They were like these hippie, fun-loving, flower-powered elves. And these are just Nazi elves. And how ironic that the hippie, happy elves were led by Hugo Waving elf, while these Nazi elves are led by Lee Pace elf. Very, very, very ironic. Very, very ironic.
Right, yeah, right.
So the elves are so the elves take the dwarves to their dungeons in their elf kingdom, the Nazi elf kingdom, and they lock them up.
Yeah, and then we see that one of the elves, lady elf.
Ah, yes, Evangeline Lilypad elf. Yes, she gets smitten with one of the dwarves, doesn't she?
Yeah, she got smitten with the sexy dwarf.
Yeah, we're not trying to judge the other dwarves and say, oh, they're ugly except this one dwarf. We're just saying that out of all of the dwarves, one of them would be the most pleasant to have sex with. But we're not saying the others are not sexy in their own right. Like, everybody is sexy in their own right. But if we had to choose between one of these dwarves to have sex with, we choose that Gimli, what's his name? Gimli. The dwarf that's smitten with the lady elf.
Yeah, that dwarf.
And so there's this love triangle between Evangeline Lilly and the Sexy Dwarf and Orlando Jones Bloom, the elf, and you know how those go.
Yeah, very uninteresting. Very interesting.
So during this time, the Hobbit, who was not captured by the elves, he's dealing with the urges of this ring he got in the previous movie.
Yeah, I don't know what the big deal is about that ring. All it does is make you invisible and makes you feel like you have a hangover without the alcohol. With the alcohol,
Yeah, I never understood why. I never understood why that ring had to be such a big MacGuffin for the overall franchise.
yeah, I got 10 rings, and they each got their own special power. One can change things. One can do illusions. One can fire stuff. So they each got their own unique power. I got 10 of them.
Yeah, you mean other versions of the Mandarin have 10 of them powerful rings. You just have 10 regular rings.
Yeah, these rings are just really for show, really. They're just the plays fans being all like, "Oh, look, I got the rings. They're from the comic books. They don't do shit, but they're the rings."
Yeah, so back to the movie. The Hobbit uses his invisible power ring to free the dwarves, and so they escape from the elves. So the Hobbit sneaks the dwarves into this Disney ride.
Yep, they they stick it to a Disney ride.
And the theme of this Disney ride is a bunch of barrels in this river that has, like wild rapids and stuff.
Speaking of Disney rides, they're very great, but requires a lot of waiting and standing around and you know walking.
Yeah, your time at Disneyland usually consists of 40% walking, 40% waiting, and then 20% rides and shows.
Yep, that pretty much sums up what it's like into be at Disney World.
So, back to the movie. As they're enduring their Disneyland ride, the elves catch up to them, but then the orcs come.
Orcs.
You know, the orcs that were after them earlier.
Oh right, those orcs.
Yeah, to give some backstory on the orcs, they're being led by this pale orc who looks like the orc version of Merle Dixon from the Walking Dead.
And there's also an orc that looks like Dale Dixon, his brother. His brother.
Yeah, you see, Merle Dixon orc assigns Daryl Dixon orc to lead this task force, this special task force in getting rid of the dwarves in the Hobbit.
What the the Merle Dixon orc, because he's bald and has a prosthetic.
Yep. So when the elves find out that they're not the only ones after the orcs, after the dwarves, they decide to help the dwarves out, let them stay in their Disney ride, and get rid of those nasty orcs.
And guess what? Which of those dwarves gets an arrow to the knee?
An arrow to the thigh, yeah, not to the knee, although that would have been a great opportunity for a timely joke, for a topical joke.
Yeah. the one that takes the arrow is the sexy dwarf. I mean, he's already got a story arc with smitten with the lady elf from Lost.
Yeah, I kind of like that they're giving some character development though to this dwarf because there's 13 of these dwarfs. It would be nice to develop their characters, and you get time for it. I mean, each of these movies are 3 hours long. You get more than enough time to develop at least 3 or 4 of these dwarves.
Yeah. Although I think they're sacrificing the time to develop the Hobbit.
Yeah, he doesn't really do that much in this movie, but since it's called the Hobbit and everything, but it's okay because at least we get some character development from these dwarves. If it means no character development from the Hobbit, then fine by me. I just want to see character development from these characters that we have to deal with. We're gonna have to spend hours and hours with these guys. So it'd be nice to see them develop and have feelings and personalities and whatnot.
Right. So so the elves decide not to beat the asses of the dwarfs.
Yeah, instead they decide to focus on why the hell these orcs are running around being asses. Oh, and then the movie realizes, oh wait a minute, we forgot about Gandalf. Let's get back to what he's doing. And he's got his own subplot about looking for the necromancer.
What the necromancer?
It's just this foreshadowing to the main villain of the Lord of the Rings movies. The smoke monster that turns into the giant eyeball guy.
Oh, you mean Mike Wazowski?
Yes, Mike Wazowski.
I love Mike Wazowski. He just went to college recently.
Okay. Well, while Gandalf and the Bear Grylls hippie wizard are off having their own subplot, the dwarves stumbled upon this reluctant tiny boat captain.
I didn't think he was that small.
No, I'm not talking about the boat captain himself. I mean his boat was small. It was a small boat for this captain. The captain was regular sized. He was taller than the dwarf, so he was regular sized. I mean the boat was tiny. A tiny boat captain.
I see what you did.
Yes. So the the boat captain decides to let them to keep them in the barrels only if he puts fish in them to hide them. So he brings the barrels full of fish and the barrels full of fish and dwarves and one hobbit into this town.
Right. That messy, depressing ass town.
Yeah, it seemed like a cross between New York, Venice, because it had a river in the middle of it, and also Tatooine. It was a cross between New York, Venice, and Tatooine.
Kind of like let's call it New Yorkween. Yeah, New Yorkoween. Let's call it New Venice Yorkoween.
Yes, New Venice, Yorkoween. So when he gets to New Venice, Yorkoween, he meets this monobrow man, and this monobrow man is all like, "Yay, fish politics." And I come to the Lord of the Rings movies and the Hobbit movies not for this fish politics. I do it for the fantasy and the action. This is the same problem that the Star Wars movies had. It just focused too much on politics. I don't want to listen to politics in a fantasy movie, let alone fish politics.
Yeah, I really didn't like the fish politics. The only time fish politics work in a movie is when the Joker is using the Joker venom on them.
That's right. The laughing fish storyline. That's the only time fish politics is okay. Any other time, it sucks.
Yeah, it sucks big time.
So the monobrow man notifies the mayor. Is it the mayor of this town?
I believe so.
So he notifies the mayor, and the mayor is like this disgruntled old fat man with an asymmetrical mustache.
Maybe he wouldn't be so disgruntled if he adjusted his mustache and made it symmetrical. You know, he got some gel, and then he adjusted the mustache. All he has to do is get some gel, or just a little bit of gel, or get in front of a mirror and adjust his mustache. You know, make it nice and symmetrical. Then he'd be a happier man.
Yes, a happier man. So, so as the reluctant boat captain is smuggling the dwarves in his home, they get found out, and the dwarves are taken to the to the town mayor, but then the dwarves testify, letting the humans of this town know that that them dwarves are back to restore peace to the mountain, because ever since the dragon came to the mountain, not only did he fuck up the mountain for the dwarves, but he fucked up this town for the humans. And the humans are like, oh, well, you know what? Fine. You well, you know what? Well, you know what? That's awesome. We are happy that you dwarves are back. We are so happy that you're back. We're going to accommodate you all the way on your journey.
Yeah, that they were they were really they were really supportive to the dwarves. Also, or noticed that there were a couple black people there.
Yeah, you know, these movies. This is the first time in a Hobbit movie, let alone in Lord of the Rings movie, where you ever see someone not white.
Yeah, it was really a spectacle to be seen.
Too bad that they don't play any purpose in this movie.
Yeah, but it was just great knowing that their presence was there.
Yeah, the presence is what count. So anyway, everyone is happy that the dwarves are there, except for the boat captain, because he likes to be a stick in the mud. So the boat captain, he doesn't want this. He testifies against it, and so the asymmetrical mustache mayor decides to lock him up in the dungeon.
That was a dick move from him.
Yeah, and so the humans set the dwarves on their way in this little boat to the mountain, except for four of them.
Yeah, there were four that were left, you know, to get some character development, which is always needed with these big bunch of dwarfs. And the four that were left the the sexy dwarf.
Yes, the sexy dwarf, because he got wounded, and he needs the most development apparently because he's the sexiest.
And then his twin brother also stuck with him, you know, because there's a close twin brother, although they don't look alike.
Maybe they're fraternal twins, or maybe they're not twins at all. Maybe they're just brothers.
Yeah, there's that possibility. And also staying with them is this male nurse.
Yes, the male nurse dwarf.
You know, this is the first time I've ever seen a male nurse make a badass. I must say, I've never seen that really that much. It's not really a common thing, is it?
No, it's not. Not to offend male nurses, of course. We're just never used to seeing you being badasses.
Yeah. So it was the sexy dwarf's brother, the male nurse dwarf, and then the Coil Broflovsky dwarf.
Yes, the one that had the hat that resembles the one belonging to Kyle from South Park. So these dwarves stay behind so they can develop more.
And the reason why the Coral Dwarf stayed is because he was late for the party.
Yeah, you always get that one guy who's always late, and they give an excuse like, "Hey, I know I was gonna, I know I said I'd be there on time, but I had to do something," and blah blah blah. And I'm like, "No, I don't get kind of with your bullshit. You promised you be here. This is completely unprofessional."
Or I think that hit too close to home.
Yes, it did. So the rest of the dwarves, finally make it back to the mount. So the rest of the dwarves finally make it to the mountain.
Oh, right, and they go up this statue of Dwarf Liberty up to the top.
And there they look for the keyhole to put their key in. You know, the key that Gandalf gave in the beginning of the movie.
But they could only find it in sunlight or, or regular light.
They think it's only sunlight, but it turns out it's moonlight.
Or I don't understand what the difference is. Or like, why would a keyhole only appear in a certain kind of light? Not sunlight, but just moonlight. Why would a keyhole be picky as to which light it would appear in?
Yeah, this is a fantasy movie with hobbits and elves and stuff.
Oh, right. I keep thinking that this is a documentary. I keep thinking this is a realistic documentary about penguins.
Okay, so when they find the keyhole, they put the key in and they make the hobbit sneak in
Why did they make the Hobbit sneak in?
because he's a burglar, you know, but not a burglar of hamburgers.
What's that reference to?
The hamburglar.
Oh, I thought that was a reference to my Aunt Connie, who steals burgers every Tuesday.
Okay, so we see these mountains and mountains of gold coins. You know, these mountains inside, these golden mountains inside a regular mountain.
It's called like Mountainception.
Yes, mountainception. And instead of jumping into the piles of gold like Scrooge McDuck, the hobbit decides instead just to step into it, to tiptoe into it.
That's probably the more realistic way of doing that. Probably going to be really hard. The surface of bunch of coins.
Yeah, this is a more sensible way of handling it. So anyway, all his meddling awakens this big giant ass dragon, who of course is played by Benedict Cucumberbatch.
All right, Benedict Cucumberbatch. I like him so much. Like, say what you want. I don't care if he wasn't white enough to be a con. You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
No, what I meant was, I don't care if he was too white to be con. You know, like he's so intimidating and menacing. Like if he told you, like, "Hey, I'm a brown person," I'd believe it. I'd believe it.
Yeah, right then. So we get a close up of him, and for some reason they've been teasing his image throughout this entire franchise, and I kept thinking, why? He's a dragon. What's there to be surprised about when we see him? But then I realized why they waited this whole time to see him. Because they wanted to save a very important part of his design until this moment. And it was worth all the wait. He is wrinkly and leathery.
Yep, he's very wrinkly and leathery.
Like every time I see a dragon in a movie, I keep thinking, no, this is not real. I'm not believing in the illusion of a dragon being in front of me because they are not nearly as leathery and wrinkly as they need to realistically be. I want my dragon to be as wrinkly and as wriggly as some snooty rich woman's purse that has been soaked wet and then let out to dry for 4 days. That's how wrinkly and leathery I want my dragon to be. And by golly, they accomplished that.
Yep, it very wrinkly and leathery.
So anyway, the dragon chases the Hobbit. He chases the Hobbit uh, around the castle. And during this time, you keep thinking to yourself, hey, what's happening to Gandalf?
Alright, I keep forgetting that there's a gay wizard in this.
Yeah, the movie tends to forget him. We keep getting back to him, but it's pretty much the same. He's looking for the smoke monster who's like the necromancer who's Sauron, who's the Mike Wazowski. Anyway, the last time that we do see Gandalf is when he's in a bird cage.
Oh, right, a bird cage. Uh, well, it could be worse. What? It could be a worse kind of bird cage.
Would it be a worse kind of bird cage?
It could be the kind of bird cage where he had to deal with Nathan Fillion or dressed in drag.
Yeah, that was probably a worse bird cage. So the last time we see him, he's in that bird cage, and the orcs are getting ready for this big ass war. And the necromancer is getting ready, and he's getting his armor, and he's getting all badass, and he's getting ready for something that we already saw in a flashback in the previous movie.
Well, that's kind of lime of them to do.
Yeah, I don't understand that. So anyway, the dragon who's been awakened by the Hobbit starts chasing the Hobbit, and then the dwarfs come, and so the dwarfs get chased by the giant dragon also.
Right. They get chased too.
And so they lead the dragon into this like giant ass science classroom because it's got like Bunsen burners and stuff.
Yeah, Bunsen burners that because the fire turns blue and there's like crystal meth there.
Yeah, and they try to defeat the dragon the way the Fantastic Four tried to defeat the Doctor Doom in that movie, where they just, like make him really hot and then make him really cold. They make him really hot with the fire and then they make him really cold with the water, but that doesn't work. So they start throwing crystal meth, and enough crystal meth is wasted to make even Heisenberg cry in his little hat.
It's really sad if you're a drug dealer like myself and other drug dealers like Radagast.
So, so they lead the dragon to another place and try some more shenanigans to trap him. And what they do is they uncover this really big giant golden statue of the dwarf king. Really huge. But then it turns out that it's not a solid statue, it's liquid gold. So it starts pouring all over the dragon, and the dragon has to endure this giant golden shower, if you will.
Oh, I've been through a few golden showers in my day.
Maybe you shouldn't get into that right now, Mr. Slattery.
I'll just say this. R. Kelly, R. Kelly, if you're watching this, good job, R. Kelly. Good job on the golden shower.
So now the dragon is covered in gold, and he decides, you know what? That Hobbit opened his mouth earlier about loving the town and loving the dwarves and loving the town and being like, oh, that town is awesome.
Oh, that was a stupid move.
Yeah, no. If he, yeah, no. If he had just closed his mouth and just shut the hell up, we wouldn't be having to get this third movie next year.
Yeah, I mean, if he hadn't have said how much he loved that town, the dragon wouldn't have been like, oh, you love it so much, I'm gonna go fucking destroy it now.
Language.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So back at the town, the boat captain is locked up. The mayor still has his asymmetrical mustache. The elves come in town and protect the dwarves from the orcs, and the Orlando Jones Bloom elf, beats the ass of the Daryl Dixon orc, which, if this was the real Orlando Bloom and the real Daryl Dixon, the Daryl Dixon would obviously win. But this is a fantasy movie, so in this fantasy movie, Daryl Dixon orc gets his ass beat. So anyway, the the um the Evangeline Lilypad elf learns that the sexy dwarf is dying, and she won't have that. I mean, she's already had a love interest before die, like Jack. Remember Jack? Like, he got killed by the smoke monster. So she's not going to let another one that she loves die. So she gets these flowers given to her by the Kyle Breathlowski um dwarf, and she uses it to heal the sexy dwarf. And the sexy dwarf gets like a boner as she's doing this, and she looks at him, and she also gets all aroused, and they're having this moment.
Yeah, it's a shame this dragon's gonna is about to ruin it.
Yeah, you see, the dragon, after being covered in gold, he sheds all that gold off because he doesn't want to be confused as a as a as as one of those figurines wrapped in gold that when you open them, they're chocolate.
Yeah, he doesn't want people opening him up and thinking that he's full of chocolate, like he's a chocolate dragon. By the way, chocolate dragon is it's a recipe that includes chocolate and lots and lots of heroin.
Yes, chocolate and heroin. So the dragon is about to destroy the town uh, because the hobbit doesn't know when to keep his mouth shut.
Right, and then what happens is the credits. The credits happen.
Yes, the credits happen. You see, this movie has to end in a freaking cliffhanger. And it's like we got two movies of this. Do we really need a third one? Yeah, apparently we do, because it's left us hanging. We have no choice but to come back for the third one.
I can't wait. There's just so many. There's just so many plot lines that haven't been solved yet, and I can't wait to see them get solved.
Yeah, you got Gandalf in the bird cage.
You got these dwarves invading the boat captain's house. Like what the hell are the kids going to do about this?
Yeah, and you also got you got the boat captain trapped in the dungeon.
Yeah, yeah. You got the boat captain in the dungeon, and you also got the mayor, and he still has an crooked mustache.
Yeah, crooked mustache. And now you've also got this dragon. And also you've got this dragon that's about to destroy the town. All of these cliffhangers that are not resolved, that we're going to have to wait a whole year for it. A whole year to wait till this is all over. A whole year to wait till this is all over. Can you believe that?
What? It's kind of like that the ending to the latest Hunger Games film.
Yeah, but the thing about that is, at least with this movie, we only got one movie left. With the other movie, we have to wait till we have to end with another cliffhanger. It's like with Hunger Games, we have to wait till we get pissed off by another cliffhanger. With this, don't worry, we're gonna get an ending. It's gonna be fine.
Are you sure about that?
Oh my god, you're right. There's a possibility that the last movie could be split up into two. We have to pray. We have to pray right now.
Well, all right.
So when we each go to our respective homes, we're gonna pray. Who do you pray?
Or pray to Vishnu.
Oh, yeah, right then. You, you pray to Vishnu, and I'll pray to Jesus. And if we each pray to a different god, that'll ensure the chances of this prayer being answered. And the prayer will be that the last movie, There and Back Again, does not get split into two movies. The first movie being called There, the last movie being called Back Again.
Or there being a third movie, and the second movie is just called Back, and then the third movie is just called Again.
Yeah, let's pray that doesn't happen. Well then, I guess we're ready to move on to final thoughts.
All right, final thoughts. All right, I thought the movie was great, but it was really weird in that it didn't hold much exposition and it didn't tie up loose ends.
Well, that's because it's just one movie that's a part of a whole big franchise.
Right. Or keep forgetting that.
Well, my final thought on the movie is that if you're looking for a good overall film to go to, then this might not be for you because there's a lot of backstory to understand, and there's gonna be a lot of patience because it's a really long movie. But if you're a fan of these of the Hobbit stories and the Lord of the Rings stories, this will be good. I mean, sure, it's not completely faithful. I mean, they have their liberties, like Evangeline Lilypad Elf. I heard that character was pulled out of the writers' asses, but you know what? It's very faithful. I believe, coming from a person who hasn't read the book. But you know what movie hasn't had its divergence from the source material?
Or think the Psycho remake.
Yes, but that movie is shit because it's so accurate. So anyway, the rating system we have here is we decide very we so anyway. So now let's get to the rating this movie. And the rating system we have here is we choose either we have the so anyway. So anyway, let's rate the movie.
All right then. So what's the rating system of this movie?
Alright, well, the rating system is a little game I like to call Should They Do This or This?
That's a really long title.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to let you guys know what we think you should do. Now, do we think that you should watch this movie or make out with an alligator while you're naked? You first, Trevor.
I think that you should uh uh I think you should watch this movie instead of making out with an alligator naked.
You're right then. I think that you should watch this movie instead of making out with an alligator naked. And that's how we rate this movie. We think that this is better than making out with an alligator naked.
Yep, we sure do.
Alright then, this has been a fantastic pilot by my account. The executives probably don't think so, but since we're on a man-child's YouTube account, I think we're good as good as renewed for a whole season.
You think this will be in seasons?
No, I think it's just going to be. I think this show will just be on whenever there's a movie I feel like watching. So just remember, I'm not going to be reviewing every movie. I'm not like the cinema snob who has his friends review every single movie that comes out. I'm just going to review whatever I feel like watching.
Alright then. Well, I hope you got a good taste.
Thanks. Oh, and by the way, Trevor, you're welcome to return anytime you want.
Alright. Okay.
Alright. I'll see you next time, ladies and gentlemen, with another fantastic member of this supervillain community you guys all love to hate. I'm Gravitalk.
And Trevor Slattery slash the Mandarin or the Mandarin decoy.
And this has been another episode of Gravitalk.
So what are we going to do now?
Now we're going to play this show off. We're going to play ourselves off by singing the Misty Mountains song.
Alright then.
If
forever the Misty Mountains cold, 2 days just deep. Forever, 2 Misty Mountains cold, 2 dungeons deep and caverns. Forever, 2 Misty Mountains cold, 2 dungeons deep and caverns cold. 2 Misty Mountains cold, 2 dungeons deep and caverns cold. We must away a break of dawn.
See you next week, everybody.
Trevor,
you don't have to keep singing. Trevor, the show is over. You don't have to keep singing. Trevor, you don't have to keep singing. We were only going to do the first sonnet. I don't want to do all of them. Trevor, somebody please tranquilize this guy. I'm pretty sure he can take it.